foundational. So here's what I want to show you, okay? So imagine, like I said, trying to build a worldview apart from Christianity is like trying to build up on Jenga while you take the bottom out. And so many of you, if you're deconstructing or somebody around you is maybe getting rid of some traditional beliefs. And like I said before, some things have been passed down to you that are not good. And that the truth of Christianity has been covered by the traditions of men. And what some may call legalism or some may call whatever, to say they pass down to you a little bit of the truth, but it's clouded in all this messiness, and you should rightfully get rid of some of that. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't think critically about it, but what I am saying is you got to be careful as you consider how you do this. So many people are like this. They have their whole life, and they think, okay, it's 2021. So let's say the sexual ethic of the Bible, one man, one woman, marriage, how bigoted is that? That is way, I was raised in that, and I still appreciate maybe God and some of those things, but I can't, that's naive, that's caveman, no, I can't believe anybody would believe that, right? So you pull that out, and maybe some of you are there now to say, I still want to hold on to some of those things, but I can't. It's 2021, guys, okay? Love is love. So you pull that out, you put it over there, all right? And you say, I'm not going to do that. And then you keep thinking through stuff about your own personal preferences. As a matter of fact, I don't really like people telling me what to do, I'd rather decide for myself. And so I'm just going to start deciding for myself. I still like, Jesus gives me really good advice, I think some of these things are helpful. What a nice dude. But I just, submitting to everything he says, that seems a little radical. I don't really want to do that. And so I'm starting to, those are pretty foundational. But then there's some other stuff here that's like my understanding of the scriptures, or any social issues. I just begin to say, no, that's not me. I'm going to take that out. And then I just keep doing this with the beliefs that I were given, or even some of just the traditional beliefs of Christianity and the Bible as they're presented to me. And I say I would love to hold on to some of my roots, but I'm going to start taking these things off. Now, what you're going to realize is the more you begin to pick apart and choose the things you want to believe and not believe, the more difficult it gets to begin to build the foundation, to begin to build the life on top of the foundation. And it gets wacky and out of whack, and your life becomes unbalanced because now you're trying the tricky in between of building a life while taking apart the foundation. And that simply doesn't work, and it begins to collapse. And now this is where people get eventually to say, well, I'm just going to get rid of the whole thing because the Bible just can't, I just can't do any of that. Whatever it might be, I want to do me. And if I'm going to really do me, and if I'm going to really follow my heart, the necessary conclusion is I have to get rid of everything else. And so for me to really pursue my life, I got to get rid of, like Richard Dawkins was saying, I got to get rid of Genesis 1. I got to get rid of the Bible. I can't maintain these things anymore. And so that's the ultimate end of deconstruction. Say, I'm going to start taking these little pieces apart. And you're building your life, but it's getting pretty sketchy, and it's like, this is sort of not working, sort of working, but I'm maintaining. But eventually you're like, I'm tired of all this. I give it up. And you say, I'm just going to pull this one out from the bottom. And as soon as you pull out the essentials of Christianity, the truth that God is and that you are made in the image of God, you have pulled out the very foundation upon which you build everything else. And so now you're in this position. Remember our three words, justice, rights, and equality, okay? That's the mantra of the age, justice, rights, and equality. And Christians are all for justice, rights, and equality. The Bible is all for these things. The Bible pursues them. As a matter of fact, the Bible is the very reason people think this way. And so when you see, okay, this is taken away, but you still have your three bricks, justice, rights, and equality, but now you have nothing to build on, and it's like trying to build in the air. And this is what your life looks like. You're trying to live out the purpose of the world around you. You're trying to live a life of meaning and significance, but you've pulled out the very foundation upon which all these beliefs are built. And if humans are not made in the image of God, there is no reason to pursue rights, equality, and justice. It is just the way it is, and you make the best of it the best you can. Nothing right, nothing wrong. So many of you are now, you're doing this. This is your deconstructing. And what happens is, eventually, you just have to hold it there yourself. Because you're like, I've lost my foundation, so it's really up to me. It's up to me to maintain these beliefs. I declared myself the source of all things right and wrong. And so since I've gotten rid of any authority, or especially any Bible or God, now I'm limited to what I can do. And so because there's no foundation, I can't even really build up more bricks. There's only so much I can do with my life because in an attempt to be free, I have become enslaved to me, to what I can do, to my brain and my wisdom. And so now, so many of you, maybe even in the room or some of your friends and family, this is what it looks like. You're trying to uphold the values of the world. You're trying to uphold values of justice, rights, and equality, which are also values of the Bible, defined appropriately. But you can't have the foundation anymore, and now it's impossible to build your life. And so you're in the process of doing it on air, or you've given up on that, and you're just like, I'll uphold it myself. And eventually your arms are gonna get tired, and you're gonna do this, and you're gonna say, this is not true. I'm on page 250, and this book don't make no sense. And this is what I want you to see today from this example, that Christianity is not, the truth of Christianity, not cultural Christianity, the traditions, the truth, the essence of Christianity from the Bible, is foundational, not optional, if you are going to pursue rights, equality, and justice. It's foundational, not optional, and this is no matter what you think about it. It's a necessary truth that has to exist, and if it does not exist, you have no foundation upon which to build a life that pursues equality, rights, and justice. And so many of you are in that position now, and I want you to see today that the truth of Christianity is foundational, not optional.